You know what scares me the most? The fact that after age 60, our risk of cancer goes up dramatically. And yet so many women still believe that it's all in the hands of genetics or just bad luck. But what if I told you that researchers estimate that at least 30 to 50% of all cancer deaths are linked to risk factors we can actually control? Things like smoking, alcohol, obesity, poor diet, and lack of movement. That means that nearly half of all cases could be influenced by the choices we make every single day. Isn't that both frightening and empowering at the same time? And here's the real shocker. Some of the most powerful tools against cancer are not hidden in expensive treatments or complicated therapies. They are sitting right on your plate, in the simplest, most natural foods you can find. Today, I'm going to walk you through the top cancer-fighting foods that women over 60 should be eating regularly if they want to lower their risk, boost their energy, and feel truly alive again. And make sure you stay with me until the end, because one of these foods is so overlooked and yet so effective that it could change how you think about prevention forever. But before we dive in, let me ask you for a favor, friend to friend. If you're passionate about taking control of your health naturally, through real food, smart habits, and evidence-based solutions, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Each week, I share tips that help women like us age with strength, clarity, and grace. And I would hate for you to miss something that could add years of quality to your life. Now, let's talk about why this is urgent. By the time we hit 60, our cells have been through decades of wear and tear. The little errors in DNA repair, the stress from pollution, the inflammation from processed foods, all of that starts to add up. Cancer begins when damaged cells start multiplying out of control, ignoring the normal checks and balances of the body. And the truth is, cancer cells thrive in an environment of chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. So if we can cool that fire, if we can lower the inflammation and flood our cells with protective nutrients, we can make our bodies a very unfriendly place for cancer to grow. And the best way to do that is with food. Let's start with one of the most powerful cancer-fighting groups: cruciferous vegetables. Think broccoli, cauliflower, kale, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. These veggies contain special compounds called glucosinolates, which the body converts into isothiocyanates. Don't worry about the fancy name. The important thing is that they help switch on your body's natural detox systems, protect your DNA, and even push abnormal cells into a process called apoptosis, or programmed cell death. Imagine that, your food literally telling a damaged cell, it's time to go. That's powerful. Studies show that sulforaphane, found in broccoli sprouts and broccoli itself, is especially effective in reducing the risk of prostate, breast, colon, and oral cancers. I know some women who sprinkle broccoli sprouts onto their morning toast or salads, and it's such a simple habit with profound benefits. But here's the thing. Cruciferous vegetables work best when you don't overcook them. A little steam or a quick sauté is fine, but try to keep them bright and slightly crunchy. That way, you preserve the enzymes that activate those cancer-fighting compounds. Next, let's talk about one of my personal favorites: berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. They're little jewels of nutrition. These fruits are packed with antioxidants and colorful plant chemicals called anthocyanins. They don't just look pretty, they actively neutralize free radicals, reduce oxidative stress, and slow down the spread of abnormal cells. In fact, regular berry consumption has been linked to lower risks of colon, breast, and prostate cancers. I often say, a handful of berries a day keeps the doctor away. And honestly, it's not an exaggeration. Plus, they're sweet, refreshing, and so easy to add to yogurt, oatmeal, or just a simple afternoon snack. Now, what about tomatoes? This is one that many women overlook. Tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant carotenoid. Lycopene helps protect against DNA damage and can block cancer cells from creating new blood vessels to feed themselves. Research especially points to benefits for prostate cancer prevention, but there's growing evidence for breast and lung cancer too. Here's a little trick. Lycopene is better absorbed when tomatoes are cooked and combined with a healthy fat, like olive oil. So think tomato sauce drizzled with extra virgin olive oil, or roasted tomatoes in a salad. Delicious and protective at the same time. Another underestimated warrior is green tea. Now, I know coffee usually gets all the attention, but green tea deserves a place in your daily routine. It's loaded with catechins, especially EGCG, which have been shown to stop tumor growth, encourage cancer cell death, and prevent metastasis, the spread of cancer to other areas. Can you imagine something as simple as sipping a warm cup of tea having that kind of impact inside your body? People in Japan, who consume green tea regularly, have consistently lower rates of several types of cancer. If you're sensitive to caffeine, don't worry. There are decaf versions that still carry many of the same benefits. Let's not forget the allium family, garlic and onions. For centuries, these have been used not only for flavor but also for healing. They contain sulfur compounds like allicin and flavonoids like quercetin, which help prevent tumor formation and block the growth of cancer cells. They even help stop angiogenesis, which is when cancer tries to build new blood vessels to fuel its own growth. Isn't it incredible that something as humble as garlic could have such a profound effect? The bonus here is that garlic and onions also improve heart health and regulate blood sugar. Two huge concerns for women after 60. So don't be shy about adding a little extra garlic to your meals. And then we have the leafy greens, spinach, kale, Swiss chard. These vegetables are nutritional powerhouses, filled with vitamins, minerals, fiber, and chlorophyll. Chlorophyll, in particular, helps neutralize toxins and reduce oxidative stress. Eating greens daily helps your body create an internal environment that's less hospitable to cancer and more supportive of vibrant, long-lasting health. A simple green smoothie in the morning or a side of sautéed spinach at dinner can do wonders. Now, here's a snack I recommend to all my clients. Walnuts. Unlike other nuts, walnuts are particularly rich in omega-3 fatty acids and compounds with anti-inflammatory properties. They not only protect the heart but also contain phytochemicals that inhibit cancer cell growth. In some studies, walnuts have been linked to a lower risk of breast and prostate cancers. Isn't that a great excuse to grab a small handful every day? Just remember, nuts are calorie-dense, so a small portion, like a quarter cup, is plenty. Speaking of omega-3s, let's talk about flax seeds. These tiny seeds are loaded with plant-based omega-3s and lignans, which are especially protective against hormone-related cancers like breast and prostate cancer. They help reduce inflammation, support the immune system, and even interfere with tumor growth. The key is to consume them ground, not whole, so your body can absorb the nutrients. I often recommend adding a tablespoon of ground flaxseed to your morning smoothie or sprinkling it over oatmeal. One small habit that packs a big punch. But a little warning: take flaxseed away from medications or supplements, because it can interfere with absorption. Another overlooked group of cancer-fighting foods? Fresh herbs. Parsley, cilantro, and basil are more than just garnishes. They're full of flavonoids, carotenoids, and essential oils that fight inflammation and slow down the growth of abnormal cells. For example, parsley contains apigenin, which has been studied for its ability to reduce the risk of breast, prostate, and colorectal cancers. So next time you're cooking, don't skimp on the herbs. They're nature's medicine cabinet in tiny green leaves. Now, let's pause for a moment. I know this is a lot of information, and you might be wondering, okay, but how do I actually make this work in my daily life? That's the beauty of it. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Think of it as small, steady upgrades. Maybe tonight you swap out white rice for a side of sautéed spinach. Tomorrow morning, you toss some berries into your oatmeal. Over the weekend, you try a new recipe with garlic and tomatoes. Step by step, these foods build up a shield of protection inside your body. And here's something that really inspires me. I've met countless women in their 60s and 70s who thought it was too late to change. They believed their risk was already set in stone. But once they started incorporating these foods, not only did they feel more energetic, but their lab tests began improving. Lower inflammation markers, better blood sugar, even stronger immunity. It's never too late. Every meal is a new chance to rewrite your health story. So let me ask you, friend, what's one of these foods you could start adding today? Broccoli at lunch? A cup of green tea in the afternoon? A sprinkle of flaxseed over your salad? Pick just one, and commit to it this week. Because prevention is built meal by meal, habit by habit. Before we wrap up, let me gently remind you again, if you found this information valuable, please subscribe to the channel. By joining, you're not just supporting this work, you're giving yourself the gift of staying informed, inspired, and empowered with natural, science-backed solutions every single week. And now, here's your teaser for what's coming next. We've talked today about the foods that lower your cancer risk, but in my next video, I'll reveal a type of meat that has been directly linked to colon cancer. It's something many people eat every single week without realizing the danger. Trust me, you'll want to see this before your next trip to the grocery store. So stay tuned, take care of yourself, and remember, you have far more power over your health than you've ever been told.